a recommendation that the agenda for the April 6, 2021 Township of Wellington North Rec Park and Leisure Committee meeting be accepted and passed. Brian, do you mind moving that? And Dan, do you mind second that?
I do not mind moving that, sir.
All in favor? Thank
Morning,
you very much. Brian, do you have any disclosure of pecuniary interest at all?
I do, as a matter of fact, regarding the, it's just a verbal report on the arena floor in Arthur, but I will declare pecuniary interest in that regardless because a family member is involved with that project.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you very much. Dan?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you. I don't either. You'll see the minutes of the previous meeting there. You can probably have gone over there. Any questions or conversation about the previous minutes?
Nope, none for me.
The only thing I would point out, Mr. Chair, is, and I'm not sure, maybe the clerk could chime in here and help me a little bit, but in the last meeting, there was a report on the floor in Arthur regarding a single source contractor. And at the time, I had no idea who the contractor was, but in hindsight now, it was by construction. And had I known that, I would have declared a pecuniary interest. So I'm kind of looking to the clerk for direction here or a little help.
Go ahead, Karen.
You can declare that now then, and we'll make a note that you were unaware at the time who it was. And have you approved the minutes from that meeting yet?
We're just in the process of doing that now.
Okay, so just be sure that you don't take part in the vote on approving those minutes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Just a reminder, every time, and you'll know this, Brian, but when you declare pecuniary interest now, you have to fill that form out. So we'll email you the form.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for bringing that up, Brian.
Yep.
Dan, I guess I'll get you to move it and I'll second the business arising
All right.
from the previous minutes. All in favor? Thank you. All right, we have, we'll keep moving on and we'll go right over to the Mount Forest Agricultural Society Agreement. Tom or Mandy, which one are you going to handle this one?
Yep, I can.
Go ahead then.
Sure, thank you. So we also have Kathy Moore on the call with us today. She is a member with the Mount Forest Agricultural Society. So we met with the board of directors with the Mount Forest Agricultural Society back in July of 2020. We followed up again in November, and we've presented this draft agreement with the board of directors in February and then again in March. So this is what's in front of us right now. There were initially concerns regarding 4E, which stated that the society would ensure that parking is contained to the parking lot off King Street. That has been updated to say the society will make best efforts to ensure the parking is contained to the parking lot off King Street. So we've updated that, and Shirley, if you have anything.
Welcome, Kathy, and thanks for making the time to join us this morning. Dan or Brian, do you have any questions at all?
I'm okay. It reads okay with me. I think it's a good update, so I'm okay.
The only thing I would wonder is, and of course, part of the reason that drove this whole change was the parking thing, and the verbiage in the agreement says the Ag Society will make best efforts to make sure the parking stays over at the King Street parking lot. I have no doubt that they will make best efforts, but as if somebody starts to make an issue out of it, what are best efforts? Who defines that? It kind of leaves it open to a lot of discussion down the road if troubles happen.
Go ahead.
So I guess I'm looking for a little clarification.
Yeah, our main concern was having horse trailers, like being able to park inside the fairgrounds for showing purposes instead of parking them on King Street and bringing them across.
Is there room for how many trailers are you thinking, Kathy?
Primarily the Western Show it parks just off of Wellington Street there by the Kinsman Diamond, and the light horses, heavy horses, they park around the track over towards the Optimist Diamond. So, you know, we just wanted to be able to make sure that we could have our parking inside the fairgrounds during the fair. And when John McPhee has his sales, that they'd be allowed to park in along the King Street inside the fairgrounds.
Tom, I see you're chiming in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I might through you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, for Fall Fair, you guys will, that's always blocked off anyhow. So pedestrian traffic wouldn't be in there at the time. And that's what we're worried about, is the dog walkers and the people that use that track. Even for John's auction sales, if the majority of people can park out on King Street, I know they're gonna have to load and unload stuff. So at that time, we would just ask that just the people coming in to pick up their stuff and try and keep the parking out at out in that old arena parking lot would be best.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
pass that on.
Thanks, Tom.
The only
Dan,
other
you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think the term best efforts is a good start. And I think as Councillor Millen is maybe asking, what do we do in the future? I think we just maybe have to, if there are issues that crop up or are continuous issues that are causing problems, then we'll deal with those as we get to those. But I think that just the term best effort is a good term, and I think that they'll do their best to try to make sure that parking is addressed. So
All right.
we'll
Yeah.
deal with it. I think we can deal with issues that crop up in the future.
Okay. Kathy, do you have
The
any
only other-
questions or concerns?
The only other question that Kevin Horsberg raised at our last meeting was in the event that the township should decide to sell the fairgrounds, would we be provided with other land?
Well, that's a very good question, and thanks for that. Of course, Kevin would have brought it up. That wouldn't be up to this committee, but we can certainly bring that up to council when we cross that road. But I see Brian with his hand up. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Councillor will probably make best efforts to accommodate the Egg Society wherever they wish to.
Only got a bit and piece of that, but I think I got the gist of it. Mike, do you have any comment on that at all?
My comment would be that hosting a fair needs particular requirements, so council will need to be considerate of that. And yeah, I don't think there's a lot of options for us outside of perhaps some area around the current sports complex, but that may change pretty drastically over the next 5-10 years. So I'm not in a position to commit because that would be a decision to council. But as Mr. Milne has noted, I think council would make best efforts to accommodate the society, but it may not look the same as it does now, but that's assuming we sell the lands, which again is a big assumption.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
fair enough. Yeah, and when we cross that bridge, that'll be up for discussion and good debate at council, I think, as well, with the Ag Society in mind as well. So I know that's probably not the best answer you want to hear, Kathy, but until we get there, it's
For
probably the
now.
best answer I can give you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions at all?
Not for me.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my agenda back up here. There we go. All right, thank you. I have a recommendation that the Rec, Parks and Leisure Committee recommend the Council of Township of Wellington North approve the agreement with the Mount Forest Agricultural Society. Dan, I'm going to ask if you can move that, and Brian, if you can second that. Any questions or concerns? See none, all in favor? That's great. Thanks very much, Kathy, and thanks for making time to join us this morning. She might have been kicked off, or maybe my feed is slow. Oh, there we go. All right, moving on to the Arthur Arena floor. I guess, Brian, if you want to close things off just for a little bit while we chat. I guess, is that the best thing to do, Karen, or? Sorry, you're on mute, Karen.
I'm gonna learn sign language. That's what I'm gonna learn. Yeah, Brian's off there now, so you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's have the good news story with the Arthur Arena floor.
Okay, through you, Chair McCabe, this is just a slideshow Mandy put together. I've been taking pictures of the work that has started March 15th and how the floor has progressed. I've shared it with you, Councillor McCabe, but I thought the other guys would be interested in seeing how it is progressing. So if you just want to start the slideshow, Mandy, and I will just talk as we go.
Perfect.
They started March 15th, started taking the boards out. A lot of the glass is going to be, some of it's going to be reused for the new floor. Oh, we lost the slideshow. Glass is going to be reused. A lot of the puck board there that you see, the Arthur Optimist have taken it for a venture they're trying to work on an outdoor rink. So that stuff is going to be used, reused or repurposed, I guess. A lot of the lumber that they've saved, they're using that, repurposing that too. The concrete floor, as they cut that out, it's being repurposed and not going to the landfill. Kenilworth Auto Recyclers had some use for it up there, so they've been delivering it to them so that they'll have some kind of outside platform, which is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yep. And there you can see they cut it in about 4x6 sheets, pick it up with a forklift, take it outside, put it on skids, and then they floated it all up to the auto recycler.
Wow.
So I think that's all out of the parking lot as of today. I haven't been down yet, but it should be all gone. The insulation that's under you can see the blue insulation there under the surface. Some of that is being repurposed, but some of it is also going to landfill. Though that picture there, that is the header trench, the header pipes. You can see the pipes there. They've all been cut and they should all be removed too. They were doing that Thursday when I was down there. They haven't ran into any problems, which is awesome for us and awesome for them. A little bit of the curbing is going to have to be fixed. They will be working on the sand floor this week, getting it prepped and getting the curb prepped. And then in the next week or so, they'll probably have the guys that put the insulation down, or if they put the insulation down, they'll go back at that.
Wow.
But it's progressing well, as good as we could have, and they've had no hiccups. So it's awesome for us, awesome for them.
That is fantastic, and it's nice to see the speed at what they're going at, and then everything that's being repurposed and reused just to divert it out of the landfill. If you had to make a guess, Tom, how far ahead are they above schedule, on schedule, or?
I think they're right on their schedule. Like I said, they haven't had any problems. I think they were the floor cutters came one day late. That was it. But they got caught right back up. And I'm hoping that they'll have the floor poured before August 1st. That's the pour date. It has to be done by then.
Right.
But in talking with them, if everything keeps going, they'll probably pour before that.
Wow.
They're
That's
just,
amazing. It's great to see the work that's going to be done. I was saying to Mandy earlier, I was hoping to slide down there and just have a look on site if that was possible, just to be curious. So
yeah, just go around the back doors. They got them open because that's their way in and out. So
yeah, I might do that after this meeting then, just for curiosity. So Dan, do you have any questions, or what do you think so far?
No, it's good news that they're moving along nicely, Tom. The fact that they haven't run into any problems, that's another bonus. And I'm sure that they'll be able to keep on to their time schedule to make the deadline. So no, that's really good news to see it progressing so well.
Good deal. Thanks very much, Tom.
No problem.
So I have a recommendation that the Rec and Parks Leisure Committee receive for information, the update on the arena floor. And I guess that's just up to you and I, Dan. All in favor? Thanks, that's good. Brian, if you can still hear us, you're welcome to rejoin us. Thank you. And next up is the Jim Donald and the baseball diamond in Mount Forest as well. I'll leave it up to Mandy and Tom to discuss this, and I believe Jim is in attendance, or he's not? He's not? Okay. All righty, if you guys want to go ahead.
Sure. Through you, Chair McCabe. So at the February 2nd, 2021 Rec Parks and Leisure Committee meeting, we received a deputation from Jim Donald regarding the Mount Forest Optimist baseball diamond. Jim explained that he'd like to renovate the Optimist diamond infield, switching it from stone dust to infield granular red clay. The cost of the renovation would be covered by the Donald family, and in recognition of that financial commitment, the family would like the township to consider naming the facility the Donald Softball Field for a period of 20 years. At this time, it is difficult for staff to comment on the project scope and the financial commitment, as we have not received quotes back from Marco Clay. And Mr. Donald has also reached out to a local landscape company to receive pricing on the removal of the existing stone dust and then the installation of tile drain in the infield. So we are considering two options for the excess stone dust. One is to use it to top up the other baseball diamonds in Mount Forest, and the other is to top up the Optimist Diamond parking area and the track around the fairgrounds. Tom, myself, Nick have met with Scott Corrigan of the Mount Forest Minor Baseball Association and Jim Donald 3 times on site to discuss the various ideas that we have around the baseball diamond. And if the work was to be approved by this committee and council, then we've suggested a timeline of September or October to begin that work. And then we currently own a diamond groomer from Bannerman, which can be used on stone dust as well as a clay infield. It would require that our staff receive additional training, just because maintaining a clay diamond is different from stone dust diamond. And a representative from Marco Clay informed us that a top up of clay would be required in the spring of 2022 after the work is done in September of 2021, just because it will settle. And the Mount Forest Minor Baseball Association is discussing options around upgrades to the dugout and the players area. And at this time, Tom and I are suggesting that a subsequent report would come back to committee when we have additional information regarding the pricing and a clear project scope.
Okay, thank you for that. Mandy, yet can't really push too far ahead if there's missing information, but it's a good update as well. So that's good that everyone is still working together and seeing where we can come up with this. Any questions from the committee at all? Go ahead, Dan, and then you, Brian.
I guess, well, it's a good report. Thank you, Mandy, in regards to that. It's certainly a nice offer by the Donald family to do this. And as long as, I guess, maintenance costs and maintenance issues don't become a problem or an issue, then I'm supportive of it. My question was going to be in regards to the naming of the diamond, where the Donald family has requested the naming of the diamond, which again is not an issue with me, but it's always been known as the Optimist Diamond, the Kinsman and Optimist Diamonds. So I don't know, has there been discussion? And I don't know what the status of the Mount Forest Optimist Club is, but has anybody reached out to them in regards to this?
Tom or Mandy, I'll leave that one up to you.
Sure, through you, Chair McCabe. So at this time, we have not reached out to the Optimist Club yet, just because we're still in the fact-finding stage of the project and we haven't received any approval, but we can certainly do that.
Okay, well, it's through you, Chair. I think it's part of the whole process. Like, we don't want to support the whole project and get to the end in regards to the naming, and then that becomes an issue. So I think it should kind of be, I think it's as important as the whole project itself. So if we could maybe reach out and find out, get their thoughts or on the whole issue.
Probably not a bad idea to join with them, and maybe with the dugouts in the players area, maybe they can pitch in somehow that way as well.
Sure, yeah.
Go ahead, Tom. Sorry, and then I'll get to you, Brian.
Okay, yeah, do we even have an Optimist Club in Mount Forest anymore, Dan? Last time I dealt with them, Ken Hayward was in charge of them, and there was only 3 or 4 members at the time. Ken has, I believe he's moved out of town to Barrie. I'm not sure where he went, but I'm just not sure if there's even an Optimist Club anymore left in Mount Forest.
Go ahead, Dan.
That's a good question, Tom. I'm not sure whether there is. I'm not sure what the status of it might be, but there will be members of the community that were members of the Optimist Club that may, you know what I mean? Like there's
We don't want to
Yeah.
ruffle any feathers,
No.
really.
Yeah, and I think, and I know Ken Hayward and the Isles family were very instrumental in the Optimist Club in Mount Forest. So I just think we need to somehow reach out to them and say, this is what's happening. Are you okay with this, or is there any issue? You know what I mean? I think we just need to reach out. That's all.
No, that's a good point, Dan. And I think we can give staff some direction to that. That'd be great. Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't disagree with Dan at all, and in fact, I don't think there is an Optimist Club left in Mount Forest now. But nonetheless, it'd be nice to reach out to them. My comments, I guess, and it's not a question. My comment is, any of these projects that arise in the community, we seem in the municipal world, we always seem to find good and often many reasons why we don't want to do this, or why we want to delay. We want to do this. We got to look into this. We got to look into that. And in the meantime, the folks that are wanting to donate to the project, they want to fund the project, they get frustrated. They can't understand what is taking so long. I think it discourages people in the community from initiating these projects, because the bureaucracy just overwhelms them, and they just say forget it. And I'm worried that is the case again in this project. And I'm not questioning anybody's interest in getting the project right, but it just, we started talking about this. It was going to be a spring project. Yep, it's going to be good. Now we're into the fall, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it gets put off to next spring. And anyway, those are my comments. I hear rumblings in the community, not just yours, but ours as well, that these projects take far too long to work their way through the system. Anyway, those are my comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Brian, for that too. And yeah, maybe it does take a little bit longer, and the wheels, as you know, government sometimes moves not as quickly as the private sector. But I think we have to do our due diligence as well as a township, and watch out for our taxpayers' dollars, as well as you do in Southgate. And I think trying to find out what the financial considerations for Wellington North is with this going forward. I think it might take time, but hopefully they're still interested, and we can move forward together and come to a good agreement. But yeah, it does take time, and I know even the public gets a little annoyed, and sometimes I think members of council might get annoyed with how things sometimes progress a little slower than what they want. But I think we have to go through this process just to make sure we know what we're doing and what we're getting into. So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. I think over the years, I've certainly seen my share of projects been put on the back burner or moved from one season to the next. So I certainly, can agree with his point, and I know the frustration by people that want to make these projects happen. That's always the thing. But anytime that somebody wants to make a donation to the municipality, whether it's for a ball diamond or it's a memorial or something, there's always issues that come with that. And I think we just have to make sure that all those issues are justified and we look after them. So I am completely supportive of the project. I'd like to see it move ahead, maybe quicker than what it is, but we just need to make sure that everything is, all our ducks are in a row, so to speak.
Thanks, Dan. And yeah, I agree. And I think once we, even on their end of things, once we find, like as a township and staff find out more information and financial information, on the Donald side figure out that the information that they're lacking, then we can move forward and get this rolling.
One more question.
Sure, go ahead.
So the time frame, then I guess I'll ask Mandy or Tom. How far are we away from making a final decision and final decision on this project?
Sure, through you, Chair McCabe. So we were hopeful we would have all of that information for this report. It was just unfortunate that the contractors we were reaching out to did not provide us with that. So we're hoping that we will have that information for committee even by next month. And that will outline the financial considerations of purchasing the clay, having the works done to the infield, the removal of the stone dust, everything involved with the project. The reason why we're looking for September, October is because of our baseball league. And I believe, I'll let Tom jump in here, but I believe that we're supposed to start early May, pending regulations and restrictions are lifted. And we could end the season early in September, shift them to a new ball diamond, which would allow us to have the ball diamond work completed and allow it to sit for 2 weeks' time prior to anyone being on it.
Thanks, Mandy, for that. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, and just adding to Mandy, she said everything that I was going to say, and we're working on the same thing. To do the work, it's better to do it in September, October. If we were to do it now and the dump trucks start driving across the ball field or tractors, then we're replacing field too. So when it's harder in the fall, our ball league, our slow pitchers already reached out, said they would not be running playoffs this year. So if there's a fall fair, once it's done, we can get on those diamonds, or before possibly, because the fall fair doesn't use the diamond. And minor ball is always done in early August. So the diamonds would be empty for use or for us to do any work on them, which would give us a 2-month period, and they would sit over the winter, the clay would settle, and then we would top up in the spring again.
Thanks, that's a good point. Yeah, you don't want to do more damage while you're upgrading the infield. Dan, looked like you were going to ask something. Go ahead.
Just one final comment. I don't want to belabor the issue, but I know it's difficult to deal with contractors that don't get back to you. I mean, they're busy, and sometimes they kind of prioritize the projects. But I think we really need to hammer home we really need to get on the contractors about getting costs and timelines and everything else. So if we could really hammer that home and try to have this that report for us for the next meeting, that would be wonderful.
Great, thank you, and hopefully they can get in touch with the right contractors and get the pricing for us for the next meeting next month. Any other questions or comments? See none. Thank you very much, Tom and Mandy, for that report. That was good. I have a recommendation that the Rec, Parks and Leisure Committee receive for information the update on the Mount Forest Optimist Ball Diamond Jim Donald donation. I'll say Brian moved that and Dan seconded. All in favor? Thanks very much. Moving on, we have the ad hoc committee for the Mount Forest Aquatics. So I will pass that over.
Sure, thank you, Chair McCabe. So we had our Mount Forest Aquatics Ad Hoc Advisory Committee meeting on March 30th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. The points of discussion at that meeting were sponsorship, signage, review of recognition names. So right now the committee is reviewing all of the large donors for the sponsorship sign. The goal is to have that sign created and installed before the splash pad opens in June. We also discussed the fundraising program and brainstormed some ideas regarding the Community Development Fund, Memorial Tree Program, merchandise and promotional material, and then as well as some partnerships with the Mount Forest Lions Club. We also reviewed the financial estimations for the Mount Forest pool. And unfortunately, we received a resignation from Marty Young from the Mount Forest Lions Club. And but we also received 2 nominations for Al Leach and Vern Job as members representing the Lions Club. So those would fill the 2 vacancies on the terms of reference for the Mount Forest Aquatics Ad Hoc Advisory Committee for the Mount Forest Lions Club.
All right, thank you for that. I'd want to thank Marty Young for all of his past performances on this ad hoc committee, and look forward to his support and fundraising and helping the Lions out with this. He's been pretty instrumental, and I think the Lions with their chicken drive-throughs. I know I had some the other. I guess what was that, March 23rd. So that was good, and it was fairly busy as well. So good to see that even during the pandemic and stuff like that, the community is still coming out in droves for the fundraiser. Any questions or comments? I saw one in there that the splash pad building had come off its foundation. Do we know how that happened, or any? Go ahead, Mandy.
As I say, I might defer this to Tom.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I think it's just from winter. It was fine last year. The one end has settled. It's not on only half of that building is on a concrete base. The half that settled is not. So the company is supposed to be coming back to repair that. I believe it's this week. So
Good.
We'll keep an eye on it. It just needs to be lifted up and put something under that end of it so it does not settle again.
Okay, great. Hopefully that's like you said, hopefully it's under warranty. So that's good. Great to hear. Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I have a lengthy recommendation that the Rec, Parks and Leisure Committee recommend to the Council of the Township of Wellington North that the minutes of the March 30th, 2021 Mount Forest Aquatics Ad Hoc Advisory Committee be approved. That the Rec, Parks and Leisure Committee recommend the Council of the Township of Wellington North accept the resignation of Marty Young, Mount Forest Lions Club representative, and that the Rec, Parks and Leisure Committee recommend that the Council of the Township of Wellington North appoint Al Leach and Vern Job as members representing the Lions Club on that committee. Dan, I'll have you move this, and Brian, I'll have you second it. All in favor? Thank you very much. Going on to reports, we have an advertising program. Mandy, if you can enlighten us, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Chair McCabe. So we are reaching out to our board advertisers, our wall advertisers at both arenas, and with a 50% discount for the year 2021, which would equal $192.50 per board advertisement. So we'll be reaching out to all of those advertisers for 2021, looking forward.
Great, thank you. Has that been sent out to our possible advertisers, or is this going to be sent out?
It will be sent out, yes. I believe Tasha's on the letters right now.
Oh, great. Great, thank you for that, Mandy. Any questions or comments from the committee? Great, thank you very much, Mandy. Any new business going around the table? I'll start with you, Dan.
Well, I guess as we head into another hopefully busy summer, I just want to thank everybody in the recreation department and staff for all they've done to hopefully get things up and running successfully for this summer. It sounds like it's going to be another trying time, but I have all the faith in the world that our staff will continue to do a good job and make good things happen. So just thank you and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Dan. Councillor Milne.
No, all's good here in the periphery of the great state of Wellington North.
Perfect, thank you. I would mention, and not to put you on the spot, Mandy, Mandy and I were chatting just before this meeting, just about our day camp programs. I was wondering, Andy, if you don't mind, it's not new business, but it's pretty good news, I think, and hopefully we can carry this out, as Dan says, even though it's trying, and it looks like it's going to be another trying spring, summer. I think the great work that our staff is doing is paying off, and Mandy, if you can give us a little insight on the day camps, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you, Chair McCabe. So we officially launched our registration for day camp on April 1st at midnight. And so that was just on Thursday. As of today, we have already brought in $22,000 worth of registration income for day camp alone. That does not include our swimming programs. Most of our Arthur sessions are full, and I believe 2 or 3 of the Mount Forest sessions are full already. So there's certainly interest in our summer programs. We have put a caveat in place just saying that, there is some uncertainty, unfortunately, with COVID-19, but we hope that it will not affect our summer program opportunities. But this is a really good way to have an understanding of the type of interest level from our community. So really great uptake in that program, and lots of phone calls regarding swimming registration as well, which is a great sign.
Thanks, Mandy. I think that's great to hear. I mean, the day camp, I think the interest in it alone is not surprising, I suppose, and hopefully we can carry that through the summer and get our kids out and get some people hired. I know last year was a bit of a blowout, but hopefully we can continue as well with the day camps, and then, like you said, the pool registrations as well. So that's the only new business that I had as well. So thanks very much. I have a recommendation here that the Township of Wellington North Recreation
Steve?
Park. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Chair McCabe. I just wanted to touch on, you guys raised the issue a little bit as it relates to day camps and other programming. So based on the information that we've gotten from the province last week, the emergency break, that has a significant impact on our recreation activities for the month of April, for sure. It basically ends any indoor activities and reduces numbers as it relates to outdoor activities as well. Also, yesterday's announcement from Wellington Dufferin Guelph Public Health has another impact. Again, kids are going to be doing their schoolwork from home, so we're going to have a lot of staff who are also going to be working from home, and that is a mandate that has continued with us, that if you can work from home, you should be working from home as it relates to all of our staff. And obviously all these announcements have significant impact on recreation, and our staff adjust and do the best they can. But you can imagine there is a level of frustration that exists with the patrons or the people that want to be involved in recreation. I would suggest that, the frustration may continue to climb as the weather gets better and better and people are looking for activities to do. So I caution the committee or try to prepare you guys for potential calls around this. We follow the guidelines. We work the best we can within the guidelines. We do not go outside the guidelines. This is a health and safety issue, and we do everything we can to ensure the health and safety of our staff, and as well as all of the people who participate in recreation activities. And sometimes that is frustrating for people, and I get it. I'm one of those people. There are weird things at play, certain things that can happen and certain things that can happen. We don't get to make those decisions necessarily, but we do not flaunt outside we work within the borders the best that we can. And so I just, as the weather gets better, there may be some more pent up energy around that and people wanting to push the boundaries a little bit. And that's not the approach that we've done, and we're going to continue along those lines. Some may say we're a little conservative, and that probably comes from people like myself and our mayor, but that's the approach that we've taken throughout, and we will continue along those lines. So hopefully things change after April, but that's hope. Realities will be based on the numbers, and those numbers are outside of our control, except for us working the best we can to make sure that everybody's safe.
Thanks, Mike, and it's a good point. I mean, it's funny, as the better weather gets here, the people will be a little bit more frustrated and heightened, I would suggest, with all that's going on. And kudos to staff for holding the line, so to speak, and keeping health and safety in mind, not just for ourselves, but for all the residents as well. So thank you for that. Brian, you had something to add here?
I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to thank Mike for reiterating that. I think it is important to make sure that people understand that the decisions that the municipalities make in regards to keeping their staff and all the residents safe come from the health unit, and that's where it should come from. And I think the more that we can follow the directives from the health units, the sooner this will be over. So just everyone stay safe, stay patient. We'll get through this. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. And I know there is some frustration from people that have relatives or family in the great county of Grey, compared to what we are going through here in Wellington County, and they often wonder why there's a difference, or there has been a difference with regards to the levels that Wellington County is under, and then what Grey County is under. So yeah, patience is
It's the water.
be called upon for sure. All right, thanks very much, everyone. If there's nothing else, I have a recommendation here moved by Dan and seconded by Brian that the Township of Wellington North Recreation and Parks Committee meeting of April 6th be adjourned at 9:12 a.m. There's nothing more. I will
Just before you adjourn, I want it made known that the Leafs won again last night, just so that Dan understands that. But I'm not opposed to the motion to adjourn. That's all.
thanks for that, Brian.
I have no words.
No comments. I guess that is kind of recreationally
Absolutely.
fit for this committee. So thanks for that. All in favor? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Tasha and Karen. Thanks for all your help
Thank
this
you.
morning, and have a great week and be safe and stay healthy.
Very good. Take care.
Bye,
Everyone.
everybody.
Bye now.
Thanks, everyone.